Decision number 53, it is decided to admit in evidence the diary by the lawyer Jomtov Jaccäl, accompanied by the affidavit of Mauritius. May I call the attention of the court to a number of passages in the diary.
I have marked this as Exhibit T1134.
I shall read from the Hebrew translation and will mention the number of the page at the head of each page. On page 2, the first paragraph, the very rundown condition of the Jews in Saloniki upon the entry of the Germans. This has already been mentioned. And then the diary goes on to describe the special enterprise for the nourishment of children, which reached 2,000 children, served meals free. And on page 3 in the second paragraph, the first year from 41 to June 42, and he writes that the German approach was without aim and without plan during the first 15 months. On page 5, in the first paragraph of the third chapter, the first laws by the military rule in Saloniki Aegis. On page 6, we come upon the events of the early hours of the Saturday. The court heard about this Shabbat from another witness. In the third paragraph, the court will see how pictures reached our hands from what took place in the public square on that morning. I come now to page 34. I'm sorry, but I believe there's a mistake. Regarding a mission to Athens, and that at the time a high Gestapo officer arrived to Saloniki and wanted information in regard to the life of the Jewish community, and flew directly back to Berlin. This is now clear that this was Ginter who replaced the accused at the time. I believe, says Mr. Ba'or, that he was mistaken. The number of the page was 21. No, it is on page 21.
אדוני קורא מן המקור, אני אמרתי אתייחס בשביל בית המשפט לעמודי הטקסט.
The discussion is that it is on page 33 in the original, but in the Hebrew translation it is page 21. I come now to page 23 of the Hebrew translation. Here we meet the German officers Wislizeny and Brunner, mentioned for the first time in this diary, described as the Brunner who solves the Jewish problem in Vienna. They remain and hand over their instructions to the community after informing them that not the military command, but the SS department will be responsible for actions against the Jews. And then on page 24 says so clearly, that the implementation was handed over to the SS office. Further details the court may find on page 24 in the fourth paragraph, where there are also figures in regard to the Jews in Saloniki, 50,000 Jews, and the way Brunner behaved when he came to hand over his instructions and give his orders in the offices of the community, and the way the community was ordered to implement the instructions issued by the Gestapo. I come now to page 28. Here, there is an important paragraph about the successful attempt made to win the sympathy of the Christian population in that part of Greece to help their Jewish neighbors. A very rousing story will be found by the end of the page 29 and the beginning of page 30 until the last first paragraph. It relates here that a Christian woman sees a Jewess with a Jewish star for the first time and asks her to come to her and recognizes she was laughing, and the Christian woman thought that this was a joke. She turns to the Jewish maid on the balcony and says, "Why are you laughing? They are people as we are. Maybe our turn will come tomorrow. Why do you laugh?" On page 32, in the fifth paragraph, we see the introduction of the orders to register Jewish property, the beginning of the collection of taxes, which they believed that this was all the Germans wanted, that they were not after their lives but after their money. And on page 34, the diary is broken in the middle of the word Jews in the Greek army. And we know from the attached affidavit that after his escape to Athens, the writer was arrested, was taken to Auschwitz, and died there. He was arrested in Athens. He escaped to Athens. When the Germans entered Athens, he escaped to Athens from Saloniki. And when the Germans came to Athens, he was arrested and sent to Auschwitz. In Maurice's affidavit, these details are given.